Catching a football is a cornerstone of the sport of football. As far as the NFL is concerned, catching a football is as important a part of the game as blocking, tackling, or preventing players from honoring their dead parents. And yet, the NFL's definition of a catch doesn't align with what our eyes tell us a catch is. Let's take a quick walk through the history of the NFL screwing up what a catch is. September 2010, Calvin Johnson scores a game-winning touchdown against the Bears, but after planting 2 feet in the end zone and falling to the ground with the ball, he lets go of the ball to celebrate the touchdown. The play is overturned via replay, not a catch. Lions lose. The following offseason, instead of changing the rule to something sensible, the NFL doubled down on the existing rule, adding language to make it more clear that Calvin Johnson's catch wasn't a catch.
In order to complete a catch, a player must first have a firm grip and control of the ball, then 2 feet or some other part of the body, other than his hands, on the ground. And after these first 2 requirements have been met, he must maintain control of the ball long enough to perform an act common to the game.
Ah yes, the infamous football move. Maintaining the ball long enough to pitch it, pass it, advance with it, or avoid or ward off an opponent, etc. Keep that in mind as we go to January 2015. Late in the fourth quarter of the divisional playoff in Green Bay, Cowboys down 5 and facing a 4th and 2. Dez Bryant makes a brilliant catch to set up 1st and goal. Mike McCarthy challenges the play, and it's overturned. Not a catch. Cowboys lose. Now apparently, stretching the ball towards the end zone doesn't count as advancing the ball or even etc. So during this offseason, the NFL once again had the chance to get rid of this idiotic rule, and once again they fiddled with the language to reinforce that Bryant's catch was not a catch. Gone was the infamous football move. Instead, a player must clearly establish himself as a runner or be considered going to the ground. Now keep that in mind as we look at week 6 of this season when Golden Tate lost the ball as he entered the end zone, leading to a Bears interception. But no, play reviewed and overturned. Touchdown, Lions. Lions win in overtime. Now, in addition to this ruling, the NFL has also made questionable/confounding rulings on would-be touchdown catches by Tyler Eifert and Devontae Freeman this season. But it's hardly a new phenomenon. In 2009, the New York Times said the NFL's catch rules needed to be reviewed after a touchdown by the Raiders' Louis Murphy was nullified, a sentiment they echoed after Lance Moore's 2-point conversion in the Super Bowl that year. The NFL catch rules were bad before we ever called it the Calvin Johnson rule. But back to Golden Tate, who, of course, has some experience signaling touchdown when his quarterback has thrown an interception. In order to clarify the ruling against the Bears, the NFL Red Zone channel turned to the NFL's Vice President of Officiating, Dean Blandino.
We just had a review in the Lions-Bears game. The ruling on the field was an interception. Golden Tate controlled the pass right at the goal line.
Wait, hold on. This is the NFL's VP of Officiating? If you showed me this guy's picture and said, hey, what's this guy the Vice President of? I would have said Jaeger bombs. This isn't a person, this is a composite sketch of everyone who shouts at the screen while playing Golden Tee. By the way, if Blandino looks familiar to you, then you either spend too much time in bars frequented by hedge fund managers, or you saw the TMZ story from the summer of 2014 when Blandino was hanging out on the Dallas Cowboys party bus with Jerry Jones' son. But don't worry about any conflict of interest. My guess is he hasn't been invited back since siding with the Packers on Dez's catch. Anyway, back to Blandino on Tate's touchdown.
This is different than the plays we've been talking about, the Dez Bryant play or the Calvin Johnson play. This is not a receiver who's going to the ground. The issue here is, did he become a runner before the ball came loose?
See, now there are 2 kinds of catches in the NFL. A catch made while becoming a runner, and a catch made while going to the ground. Here, I've made a helpful decision tree. Once a ball is in a wideout's hands, one of 2 sets of rules apply, at which point whether it's a catch is still completely open to interpretation and not at all aligned with common sense. 2 kinds of catches. This is not sane! Catching a football is one of the simplest acts in the sport of football, and the NFL can't create a singular definition of what it is. And what the league did come up with somehow made it so that a player who catches a ball and breaks the plane of the end zone does not necessarily score a touchdown, but a runner who breaks the plane of the end zone and fumbles has a touchdown, no questions asked, play dead as soon as the ball breaks the plane. Someone, please tell me how that's not needlessly complex. And I'm not the only one baffled by the stupidity. It's everyone. Yahoo, Bleacher Report, the New York Times, Deadspin, ESPN, players, commentators, fans, f***ing everyone but the vice president of Long Island here. Yeah, I checked and he did indeed go to Hofstra. Even people employed by the league are turning up the heat. NFL.com writer Kevin Patra. Our weekly national nightmare about what constitutes a catch continues. He seems less than pleased. Here's the NFL Network's Dan Hellie grilling Blandino.
Dean, are you ever confused by the rules?
How did you like that pause? I intentionally cut it off there to make him look bad. I'll get to his response in just a second, but first, here's NFL.com writer Dan Hansis. That Blandino even has to seriously answer that question tells us that the NFL still has work to do. Oh, and here's Nate Burleson and Michael Robinson, both former players, also on the NFL Network.
I just have no idea what a catch is. We gotta stop complicating these rules. I understand it, but like I said, it's too much gray area. A catch should simply just be a catch.
Oh, thank you, Nate Burleson. I'd make you VP of officiating, but you're overdressed. And now, back to Blandino's response about whether he's ever confused by the rules.
We don't want to have rules where people are confused and not sure what is a catch and what isn't a catch. I feel like we do have good rules.
Let me stop you there, Dino. You do not have good rules. You have garbage rules that everybody hates. So this offseason, don't tweak the language and don't clarify your shitty rules. Crumple them up and place them in the garbage with the tuck rule where they belong. Start fresh and write a new rule that makes sense. I don't care what the exact words are, but I'd rather have a rule that trusts in the ability of an impartial human to make a decision guided by common sense than an insane rule so exactly defined that it destroys our understanding of a simple word. Let this be your guiding instruction. There is one kind of catch, and it's the catch that looks like a f***ing catch.